Imagine the largest island on the planet, a massive fortress of ice and rock, suddenly becomes the most wanted piece of real estate in history. For decades, it was just a quiet frozen wilderness. But in early 2026, President Trump has officially put Greenland in his sights again, and this time, he is not just talking about a real estate deal. He is calling it a matter of life and death for American national security. He is claiming that Greenland is being surrounded by Russian and Chinese ships, and that if the USA does not step in now, America's front door will be wide open to its biggest enemies. We are talking about a move so bold, it has sent shockwaves through NATO and pushed the world to the brink of a diplomatic explosion. Trump is literally telling Denmark that they cannot defend it and that the USA is going to do something whether they like it or not. This is the Greenland Gambit, and it is the highest stakes game of Monopoly the world has ever seen. Hello friends, welcome to Geo Unseen YouTube channel. Today we break down Trump's Greenland Gambit and why the US needs this island now. Greenland is huge, over 800,000 square miles of territory that sits right between North America, Europe, and the North Pole. During the Cold War, it was a vital shield for the USA, hosting the Pituffik Space Base to watch for Soviet missiles. But in 2026, the ice is melting at a record pace, and that is changing everything. As the ice disappears, it is revealing two things: massive amounts of treasure and brand new roads. We are talking about the Northwest Passage, a shipping route that could cut weeks off global trade. If the USA controls Greenland, they control the gate to the Arctic. But right now, that gate is being crowded by Russian subs and Chinese research vessels. Trump's argument is simple. The Arctic is the new South China Sea, and the USA cannot afford to be second place. In early January 2026, the tension reached a boiling point. Trump ruled out using military force while speaking at Davos, but he also issued a chilling warning. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative. Or you can say no, and we will remember. This is classic Trump-style art of the deal, but on a global scale. He even appointed a special envoy to Greenland and suggested sending payments of up to $100,000 directly to Greenlanders to convince them to join the USA. It is a full-court press to bring the island into the American fold, and it is causing a massive crisis within NATO. Quick question for you guys. Do you think a country should be allowed to buy another country's territory if it is for national security, or is that a total violation of international law? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is tearing the world apart right now. Now, let us look at the actual tech that is making this war so dangerous. The West is fighting back with something called ISO 20022. It sounds boring, but in 2026, it is the most advanced surveillance standard ever created. Every single payment through a Western bank now carries rich data, meaning it doesn't just say how much you sent, but exactly what it was for and who you are. This is total transparency. But while the USA is pushing for transparency, China is pushing for ghost networks. They are using their Enbridge project and digital yuan to move money in a black box. As of February 2026, Enbridge has already processed over $55 billion without the USA seeing a single transaction. The real battle in 2026 is between data residency and data sovereignty. Residency is just about where the server is, but sovereignty is about who has the password. Many banks are now secretly repatriating their data, pulling it out of the public cloud and putting it back into their own private bunkers because they are scared of regulatory headaches and cyber wars. Even the big payment giants like Visa are pivoting to agentic payments, where AI bots handle the authentication, adding another layer of secrecy. It is a massive game of hide and seek played with trillions of dollars, and it is not just the big guys. In 2026, we are seeing the rise of sovereign clouds in Europe. They are terrified of being dependent on either the USA or China, so they are building their own digital fortress through the Gaia X project. They want to make sure Europeans control their own data. This is creating a fragmented world where money stops being a global language and starts being a series of local secrets. By early 2026, the cost of this fragmentation is hitting the banks hard, with billions spent just to make these different systems talk to each other. Second question for the crew. If you had to choose between a system that is 100% secure but totally watched by the government, or a system that is slightly risky but completely private, which one would you pick? Drop your answer below because the future of privacy is literally being erased as we speak. As we move into mid-February 2026, the Greenland Gambit has officially transformed from a real estate idea into a total Arctic reset. On the 11th of February 2026, reports emerged that the global economy is still shaking from what experts are calling the Greenland Strategic standoff. Trump isn't just asking anymore. He has created a security for trade ultimatum that has pushed NATO to the absolute breaking point. While the USA claims this is about protecting the world from Russia and China, Europe sees it as a hostile takeover of a sovereign territory. Trump even issued a 25% tariff threat on all EU goods just to force Denmark to the table. This is economic coercion on a scale we have never seen between allies. The pressure is becoming unbearable for Denmark. In early 2026, for the first time in history, the Danish government had to send hundreds of elite combat soldiers to Greenland in response to what they called unpredictable American rhetoric. Just think about that. Two of the oldest allies in the world are now looking at each other through the scope of a sniper rifle. Reports are even coming out that Trump's team suggested sending $100,000 sovereignty checks directly to every single Greenlander to convince them to vote for independence from Denmark and join the USA. It is the ultimate art of the deal move, trying to buy an entire population's loyalty because their government said not for sale. But why is the USA so desperate right now? Because the ice isn't the only thing melting. The old world order is melting too. In 2026, Russia has already finished building over 40 icebreakers, including nuclear-powered monsters that can cut through any obstacle. Meanwhile, the USA has only 2 aging icebreakers. China has officially declared itself a near-Arctic state and is pouring billions into Greenland's mining projects through shell companies. Trump knows that if he doesn't get Greenland, the Northern Gate will be controlled by Beijing and Moscow within the next decade. He's framing it as a choice. Either Greenland becomes American or it becomes a Chinese military base. In his bombshell speech at Davos in late January 2026, Trump finally stepped back from using excessive strength and force, but he didn't give up. He claimed that Greenland is rightfully our territory because the US defended it in World War II. He even confused Iceland with Greenland during the speech, showing how aggressive his focus has become. He told the global elite, "You can't defend it on a lease. You need the ownership." This has triggered the European Union to launch its anti-coercion instrument against the USA, a legal weapon usually reserved for enemies, not friends. The transatlantic relationship is irreparably broken, all because of a massive island made of ice and rare earth minerals. The military buildup is already happening regardless of a deal. NATO has launched a permanent Arctic sentry mission to keep an eye on Russian subs moving through the GIUK Gap, Greenland, Iceland, UK. But Trump is threatening to pull US troops out of this mission unless he gets unrestricted military access to every corner of Greenland. He wants to turn the island into a golden dome, a massive missile defense shield that can intercept hypersonic missiles from the North Pole. It is a tripwire strategy. By forcing the issue of Greenland, Trump has created a situation where every European nation has to choose. Do you support Denmark's sovereignty or do you keep your American security blanket? The final takeaway for the Geo Unseen crew is this. The world is getting smaller and the stakes are getting higher. In 2026, sovereignty is no longer a guarantee. It is a commodity. The battle for Greenland is a battle for the future of global trade, energy, and the very survival of the Western Alliance. It is a story of ice, gold, and a president who is willing to burn down the old rules to build a new American empire at the top of the world. The maps are being redrawn in real time, and you are watching history happen. If you want to stay updated on this 2026 Arctic crisis and find out if Greenland actually becomes the 51st state, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us keep the lights on and bring you these deep dives that the mainstream media is too scared to touch. We are watching the Arctic front lines, so you don't have to. For more mind-blowing breakdowns of the New World Order, subscribe Geo Unseen YouTube channel. We have a lot more secrets to uncover, and the 2026 landscape is just getting started. Thanks for watching and for being part of the Geo Unseen family. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace from Geo Unseen.